Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Catering Circle Season 2. It is the last episode of Season 2, but don't you worry, we still have the finals next year with the business conference, which I'm super excited about. And guess what? We have actually had a long journey and we've found the best in the catering sector, and they've been here on this show, on the Catering Circle Season 2. This is where it all happened, and we're about to end it here today as well and take it on to the finals next year. But right now, here's a recap of what went down on the last episode. Welcome to the Catering Circle Season 2.
Episode 11. Financial planning. Learn from other people's mistakes. It's not just about serving great food. You will need to understand marketing, HR, finance, the law, etc. How much profit should I expect to make? A well-run restaurant or cafe typically make between 5% and 8% profit. Always compete on great service. You need to consider the following factors when choosing a location. Designing your restaurant. If you have the budget, use an interior designer. Designing the menu. What dishes should you offer? And what should you skip? Keep your startup costs as low as possible. Associated with startup costs is finding reliable suppliers. Raising finance. You need to be prepared with a business plan and a realistic breakdown of costs. Achieving financial goals for your restaurant. Budgeting. Menu engineering. Inventory. Weekly financials. POS integration. Be passionate about your business. The only way to do great work is to love what you do.
12 different problems we were highlighting, and we got those problems out from thousands of interviews from our roadshows, and those are the 12 problems. If we can solve them, we're almost there. If our viewers or the restaurant owner even implement 20% of the solution, they will be in the next level.
Cook with passion and love. Cook what you love, what you want, because that will always show up in the food.
The catering industry is the backbone for British Bangladeshi community, and we all got to do something for this industry.
Reality is, in 2008, my dad did fail when the recession kicked in, and then he learned from his mistake. He said, okay, well, going forward, I'm not going to make this mistake again.
We'd expect our old customers.
We instantly slashed these issues that we had and tried to search for the best prices. It's as small as that. It's £2 or £3 is a massive thing for us.
My financial planning is very important. Second is the environment, cleanness, service and quality.
Using every item of the chicken, if I buy it for £3.50, I need to sell it for £35.
One of the important things is to maximise revenue and to minimise cost.
There needs to be some planning where there's sort of a year ahead cash flow forecast.
If you haven't got the financial planning, if you haven't got the cash flow forecasts, it's very difficult for a bank manager to look at what you're doing.
Reviewing every day of how much we've made and what opportunities we could do to improve that.
Our first kind of aims was to where can we cut costs.
Every quarter, advice for the BAT quarter management account for the account for you can find out what is the profit you are making every quarter.
Reducing labor, reducing all these things, but until my important things are paid, I can't get this in.
Sometimes we think we know it, but you're no expert on that matter. So there are a lot of tips, like if you consult your accountant or professionals, you get a better understanding of how well you are doing. So meeting, planning, that kind of things is very important. I would say.
At the end of the day, delegation is quite important, but it's also very crucial to make sure that you do involve your staff, and that's from the waiters to the chefs, to everybody, to the bar staff, because everybody has to be involved. It has to be a team effort.
It's very important that the staff is aware of where the losses are incurring, what sort of products they need to sell more.
Our accountant is most important to tell us which way we are going.
Insurance is one of the things that they need to consider.
All the major leading banks now are really wanting to drive small businesses and make them achieve their success story.
I'm surrounded in technology. So we have, I wouldn't say it's an ERP system, but it's a small ERP system which manages human resources, manages costs, where we can improve on.
Tips. We gave our staff tips, and some of the staff that have received tips, it's the first time they've ever received it. So it's a huge incentive for them.
Kitchen equipment, rational machines, onion cutters, all these sort of equipments are so important to reducing costs.
It is time for the results. Are you guys ready? The results are in first place with 100% of the votes we have Montage, and with 55%, don't be a sore loser, with 55% we have Basil Spice. Congratulations, brothers. Congratulations to the last show's winners, and yes, we are still on a journey to find our last two. So each week we have 8 restaurants participating and only 2 make it through to the finals. And to help us make that decision, we have 3 panel judges and 8 special judges. Let me introduce you to our panel judges this week who hold 60% of the votes. First of all, I have Mr. Amadou Samad Chowdhury, JP, Chairman of Channel S Television and Chief Advisor to the Catering Circle. And of course, you're one of the pioneers when it comes to the curry sector, community champion and philanthropist, and you've devoted a lot of your time to community activities and to help the curry industry. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
Assalamu alaikum. Very well, thank you.
Now, what would you like to say to our...
Well, business compliance and training, a big area, but this is where businessmen, restaurateurs failed. Because initially we'll see that the business is starting as a 5-star or 4-star standard restaurants, and then over a matter of weeks climbs down. This is because of compliance and training, lack of training. So I want to see the contestants, how they present themselves about the business compliance and how do they sustain it, and also the training.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That's very good advice, and to our participants here today, definitely take notes. Right next to him, we have Ms. Helen Walby, Policy Chair for Health and Diversity Federation of Small Businesses, Chair of Welsh Government Panel for Women's Enterprise, and part-time lecturer, Business School and Creative Industries. Thank you so much for joining us today. So you've got a lot to offer. Today it's all about our business compliance and training. What would you like to advise our participants today?
Well, I think in the media age now, where social media can spread a message very, very quickly, compliance is so important because, as we've just heard, if your standards start to slip, the word can get around very, very, very quickly now. So it's about being mindful of how you can leverage social media to be able to highlight how compliant you are and all of the good things that you are doing, so that you're spreading that good news message rather than worrying about how you're dealing with a crisis.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing those words. Again, take notes. I hope you're all taking notes. Right next to you, last but not least, we have Mr. Enem Ali, MBE. Now, do you need an introduction? You are the curry champion, founder of British Curry Awards, Spice Business Magazine, and now Ion TV. You've done so much in the past, starting with being the suppliers of the London 2012 Summer Olympic Games, to having such a well-known restaurant, Le Raj. List can go on, and it's great to have you on today, especially on the last show. What would you like to advise to our participants today?
Thank you very much. Great to be here. Look at the contestant is very encouraging, and I think it's a big task when you performance to measure. As you know, business world has changed quite rapidly in terms of social media, as you said very rightly. So the mindset of the consumer pattern has changed. So on that basis, business model has to be changed to feed that demand, what market actually need. So I personally feel that the compliance, of course, is very important, but the compliance is doable. It don't need people to go outside and go to the library or Oxford University because it's only a matter of click to the Google and you find the people to come and help you or actually guide you. So the compliance for me at the restaurant is not difficult subject. The subject is communication of what your target audience are looking for. Are you meeting those demands, or are you misplaced your judgment or positioning your customer expectation and your service expectation is far different, and then you are mixing again two target audience together also it conflict. So I think the core demand in the customer base is all based on not only what people reviewing. Reviewing also has very much weaken their position because people are making a fake reviewing for them in a restaurant. So what happened is, so the changing of the pattern of the business, it will be settled in. It's a matter of time. But I personally think it's a great show. What you are doing is fantastic to giving our knowledge and share our knowledge. And perhaps if industry grown, if industry has developed from your catering circle, will be great help.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Well, we have our chief advisor right here for the catering circle, so all credits to our advisors that have been on board to make this show happen. Now, today's topic is all about business and compliance and training. Let's go check out a bit more about today's topic.
Episode 12, Business Compliance and Training. Solutions to legal issues affecting the catering industry. Ensure you are business compliant, fully trained, and adhere to correct procedures. Business compliance. Think about general business policies and procedures. Give more time, commitment, effort, and attention to your business. Get the right paperwork. Use common sense. Comply with and abide by the rules and regulations set out clearly in the Food Safety Act of 1990, Food Safety General Food Hygiene Regulation 1995, and then directives came from EU. Have adequate public liability insurance. Have contents restaurant insurance. Get appropriate food hygiene certificate. Complete the Safer Food, Better Business SFBB folder thoroughly. Observe a lawful system called HACCP, Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point. Get 5 stars from your local council. Training. Every food handler, from porter to proprietor, must undergo certain food-related trainings. The steps might include buying, storing, preparing, cooking, cooling, reheating, cleaning, caring management, and serving. Must provide at least Level 2 food safety in catering training to your staff. The trained staff must make sure that the food they are serving to their customers must be hazard-free, free from physical, chemical, allergenic, and microbiological contaminations. Get a catering guide, which has legal requirements, guide to compliance, and advice on good practice. Ensure you follow the best practice rules regarding food safety, staff training, stock control, ventilation, fire risk assessment, and insurance.
All about business compliance and training. And don't forget, if you're watching at home, you can also get involved. All you've got to do is tweet us at Catering Circle. We're on Instagram and Facebook, so go follow us, get in touch, and send us your messages, and we will definitely try our best to read them out. However, we've just met our panel judges, but also very important to the show is our very special judges, and they hold 40% of the voting, and we have 8 very special judges. You hold 5% of the votes each, which is quite a lot. Let me introduce you to our audience. We will speak to you a bit later on. First of all, we have Mr. Rana Zaman, Environmental Health Officer for the last 15 years. So it's great to have you on, and hopefully you can give us an insight into the wealth of health and safety and give us some advice on that. Right next to him, we have back again, we have Arlene Ofdemois. Did I do that right? I think I did it quite well. It was all right. Training consultant. So it's great to have you on because it's all about training. So I'm sure you can share some tips with us. And right next to you, we have Maria Ahmed. Now, you've worked in the community for many years, but you've actually worked in a takeaway for 4 years as a tandoori chef and curry chef, right? We will speak to you a bit later on, and I also have a little surprise for you guys, because Maria speaks great Bangla, better than me, may I say, actually. We also have back on Shahina Ali, a medicinal food and cookery expert. You've been on every TV channel I can think of, radio, when it comes to food tips and giving nutritional advice. So thank you very much for joining us, Shahina. Right next to her, we have Fahima Chowdhury, Business Development Manager of Meridian Grand. It's great to have you on, and I'm sure you've got a lot to give us when it comes to training and how to develop your staff members. So it's great to have you on. Thank you so much. Right next to her, we have Ian Dunn, Director and Principal Tutor, ID Development Training Limited. Thank you very much for joining us. Dr. M.G. Mola Mia, multi-cuisine operator and very successful entrepreneur. It's great to have you on. Thank you very much. And last but not least, back again, we have Jamal Ahmed, the Managing Director of Tower Hamlets Training Centre. And I'm sure you've all seen him on a very, very popular TV programme called Skills for Life that comes on Channel S. Thank you very much for joining us. There you have it. That's our 8 very special judges. And now it's time for the participants. Let's go check them out. New Bikash and 3 Spices send their apologies. They could not attend. So we do only have 5 participants today. So we will be eliminating 1 in each round. So without any further ado, guys, let's get started. Round 1. So round 1 is all about your success stories, and today we're on the topic of business compliance and training. So make sure you, all the participants that are here today, you need to think about your answers, make sure it's all around business compliance and around training. So first up, we have Red Indian, Aziz Mia. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Excellent. First up, are you feeling the heat right now?
It's heat, yeah. It's
Literally
hot,
the
yes.
heat. All right, so you have 120 seconds in this round, and you talk about your success stories around business compliance and training, how it is you're implementing this in your restaurant. So talk about your food safety, health and safety, insurance and other certificates that you have, and of course, how you implement training and develop your staff. Okay? Excellent. Your time starts now.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invite. And I read, I've only been open less than a year now, but going back a year, I was a complete novice in the restaurant trade, and I reached out for support from fellow restaurateurs, and especially the environmental health. They played a key part in setting up the business for me and making me understand what food safety, health safety is. So they helped me conduct level 2 safety training for myself and my staff, especially understanding on HACCP, the 4 Ps, the 4 Cs, and kind of helping me, and they've been a great support, and I'll use them quite a lot still when we need that support. They recently conducted a rating and a support thing, and we're just awaiting a result, and hopefully, and they're giving us some great feedback, and we're looking for hopefully a 5-star. The Safer Food, Better Business booklet has been a key part for my training of staff. I mean, I use it on a regular basis, and the understanding I've got of it, and it's really helped me, and my colleagues understand. The Premises License Department, again, when I had to get my DPS, they supported me through getting that license, and I've created a manual where my staff understand what that means. And the Safer Food Business booklet, I've got a manual where it's understandable so everyone understands it around that. I've employed a company to do all my health and safety and the fire safety checks for me. So I've done a recent fire safety assessment, and they've helped me make changes so it's safer for customers, safer for colleagues as well. So the support is there, and I've reached out. Being a novice a year ago, I've reached out. Staff training plays a key part in my business. So our restaurant is closed on a Tuesday. I use that for staff training, and we have regular meetings where everything is we talk about, we get feedback from colleagues and stuff that I've seen, and I share it with them. So a lot of stuff, but I'm still new into it and I'm learning a lot, and support from you guys and understanding and networking here will really help with that. So yeah, a lot of stuff and a lot of new things. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Just on time. I think you have like 10 seconds left, but that's fine. But well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Raj of India, Mr. Dalwar Hussain. And again, just a quick reminder for those of you watching at home, don't forget you can get in touch. All you've got to do is tweet us at Catering Circle. We have Dalwar Hussain with us from Raj of India. Are you ready, sir?
I am ready, thank you.
Same thing for you. Talk about your business compliance and training and your success stories around that. Okay? You have 120 seconds and your time starts now.
Thank you. Business compliance and training is very important to run any business, not just Indian restaurant. I mean, I'll give you a prime example. When I took over a restaurant going back a few years, the first thing I did, I got in touch with the local environmental health officer. I said to my staff, those environmental health officers are there to help. And they were very helpful. And I said to my chef, as well as other members of staff, we need to make sure, what are you guys doing? You're doing the things every day. We're going to put them into practice. And papers, of course. Safer food, better business. Bookkeeping is very important. So when I took over Raj of India, they had a rating of 3-star. And after a few months, they had an inspection by the local environmental health, and we got a 4. So that was a great achievement from the staff. And the reason we did it is basically food safety, health safety, and training. Food safety, every chef knows what they're doing. It's just good to put them into practice. Bookkeeping is very important nowadays. Perhaps that wasn't the case if you go back 25 years ago. So what we do, they done some, while they're doing cooking, they'll make a record of temperature checking. They'll make a note of it. At the same time, staff training is very important. So what I do, I send my staff for level 2 training every 2 years. Just a recap of what they're doing. And my chef is an old school, an old boy, you call him, in his late 50s. So he said to everyone, clean as you go. Cleaning is very important. And it's no point just doing training if you're not implementing it. So management training is important as much as staff training. As a management, if you don't know what you're looking for, there's no way you can maintain that or keeping up the standard. And of course, health safety is very important for every member of staff, as well as the public of the restaurant. So training is very important.
Thank you very much. Just on time. Well done. Thank you. Next up, from the restaurant called Yuva, MD Akbar Hussain. Are you ready, sir?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
Okay. Good evening. I came to in this country is 11 years ago, and present here my favorite is presenter Nadia Ali and is respectable all judges. I start my business is 10 years ago. We are doing very well business. If you believe or not, is from opening to until we got the 5 stars. I do in everything is checking. Food safety, normally we Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is not busy. So a chef knows how many product they cook in. Is put it clearly. So fresh cooking is one thing, the safely production. Health safety, because the staff is very smiling and everything needed. So my one of is waiter, he was very stretched sometimes when the customer in 100 and more 100 people. So he stretched how controlling this ones. So we can do, my area is lots of is youngster, they're starting the university or secondary school level. So we teach them is 19 people. So we know we never struggling in the waiters. So we are doing the very well business. So health safety, you have to know is fire risks and ventilation accident, everything. You have to know when if anything can happen, what can you do in the moment. So it's needed. Insurance, any business has needed the insurance. Lots of kind of insurance because it is needed. So some Indian restaurants, they're selling the outside in drinking because their license don't cover it. You have to know it, because time is very short. We can't explain properly. So training, staff training is the very important thing. So before we any booking or is booking in our weekend times, before 1 hour ago we start discussion how gonna controlling what we do, me and my colleagues. So we are doing the good well business. So you have to know the staff training. I do after 2 weeks we do staff training in myself or is any other guys, and I do extra another 2 hours is working my business because I have my ambition is one day I will be the future good businessman. So I do cleaning myself in the outside and everything. So you have to properly check your freezer and everything, handbook and everything nicely. You do it. You can long run is your business because it is our opportunity in our life. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Well done. Wow, you just finished it on time. Well done. Well done. Right, next up from Riyadh's Nasiruddin. And the same thing for you, sir. It's all about your success stories around business compliance.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, respectable judge and everyone. My name is Mohammed Nasiruddin, which is when I was opening my restaurant in Riyadh in Essex 4 years ago. Actually, this time was my food rating was 4. And when I was hand over this restaurant, I was thinking about this: how can I improve my food and safety, and how will improve my business. Actually, is the compliance and training is very essential at the moment, all the time. But at the moment is that we are facing lots of problems about our restaurant industry. We are facing lots of problems about the staff. We are facing lots of problems about the problem. I try to my best, my level best, which is especially training is very essential. The restaurant. I was every week. Sunday, me, myself, and my staff, chef, everyone, make it training. I'll briefing with everyone, staff and chef. Obviously, all our chef actually. I can tell you as a MIBC member, lots of chef actually they're very good chef, but they don't have any proper idea and proper thinking, which is what is the safety, what is the food, and what is the customer, what is the proper things. That way I can tell that this is our bread and butter. At the moment, is the Indian food is not only the Indian food, is the British special dish, like chicken tikka masala is the national dish. That way, my theme and my idea was improve my business, because how I can improve my even the small things every week, every day. I didn't compromise anything. I'll discuss with my chef, discuss with my staff, what is the happening, what is the problem. That's why I time to time improve my business. And at the moment my business rating was 5, and this is our bread and butter. That's why I'll tell everyone to our industry will be follow the rule and these things like this. Excellent. Better food and safety and HSSP.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Last but not least, from Mughal Knight, Zakaria Chowdhury.
Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me here. My name is Zakaria Chowdhury. I'm from a little town called Clare in Suffolk, and it's only been a year I've been opening my first restaurants. With my business partners. Luckily I'm here, he's working today. I'm just going to here to learning something from while I'm sharing my little experience. And my theory is simple for the food safety. My customer must only get the food that I would myself try. But I have focused on the food and safety things, amount of well used and how presentation and all the allergy mentioned by customers. And in terms of any health and safety procedures in place, and my management especially the teams they comes every 6 months and make sure we are up to date with the compliance and all the insurance liabilities, everything. I'm delighted to say that we have recently been awarded 5 stars for the first years, and we're very thankful to our dedicated staff who are hardworking and they're on time, that they make sure that everything is clean and tidy up and the shift. And every 6 months, all the relevant certificates, including there's alcohol and all the compliance certificates are in front of the customer to give the customer assurance to our premises, and they when they get a feedback from them, they get a good food from us. So we feel very pleased to have the local restaurants, and because it's a community-based restaurant, it's the word of mouth goes quickly. So I try to focus everything. The food we serve is quality and quantity-wise. I don't give any cheap product to a customer to saving the cost. So I always make sure that, and I will look forward to for tonight to hear more myself to this program, to learning more, to looking forward to the next 15-20 years for opening another business. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much. Just on time. Thank you. Wow, our 5 participants are definitely on point today with the timings, so well done on that note. Judges, you've got your work cut out, and this is where it begins. So in the first round, we will be losing 1 participant, and 4 will make it through to round 2. And we're still on the search for our 2 winners in this episode. But right now, we're going to take a quick break whilst our judges do all the judging. Welcome back to Season 2, The Catering Circle. This is the last show of the season. I'm slightly sad, but actually really excited because we're about to find our last 2 participants that are going to make it through to the business conference next year. I'm going to go straight to our judges first. I'm going to start with our, what shall I say, chief advisor of the Catering Circle. Firstly, it's the last show. How are you feeling about that?
Well,
it's been a long journey.
It's a story, went on for at least 2 years. We've been everywhere in the country, and we found out at least 12 areas we needed to address. And this kind of episodes, we are trying to address and find the winners.
Yeah.
And the winners will be inspired by others.
Yeah.
So we have the dilemma that older generation is retiring and the younger generation are not coming into the industry. But by choosing younger people, and when they are inspired by others, younger people, then I think we have a bright future.
Absolutely, thank you. I'm going to go straight to our special judges. I'm going to go to Shahana Ali first. How do you feel that our participants did? I mean, it was all about business compliance and training. They had to talk about their success stories around that. Do you feel they actually answered the question?
I think in most counts they did answer the question, yes, and especially Red Indian, Mr. Aziz Mia, he actually looked into creating a staff manual of his own that's understandable by his staff, which I think is really crucial for being able to implement it and make it more effective for everyone to be able to action whatever is in the staff training.
Yeah.
So I think that's vital, and that's really impressive in my eyes. But also you have regular training by the Raj of India, and he's placing importance on himself as well. He's personally taking it on himself to implement it and lead by example to his staff.
Yeah.
But I think really compliance, it's really important to have an operations manual like the Red Indian has done, in your own words, to be able to communicate to the staff so they can implement it and action it as effectively as possible, as easily as possible, and also have a systemised procedure where it can be updated and everyone knows about it and can action it.
Yeah. Fahmina, you're the business development manager for Meridian Grand. Now, I don't know, maybe I missed it, but I don't think they talked a lot about risk assessments. You're in a big restaurant. Are you not supposed to have risk assessments done? Do you feel they need to put more importance in that?
I think now that, for example, with Meridian Grand, we've launched our catering, and in terms of catering, going into that area, we realised, the importance and how fundamental hygiene is. So when it relates back to catering, hygiene becomes such a important area that maybe it is implemented, but they didn't find it necessary to discuss it. Maybe in the next round we'll find out what they're doing.
Yes, let's see. Well, hopefully they took note of that. But also, thank you for Mina and to Meridian Grand, because you've also been a part of the journey with the Catering Circle for the last 2 years. You've been our platinum sponsors. So thank you very much, and hopefully we'll be there again next year. I'm going to come straight through to Helen. Helen, we're going on to the next round. Obviously, we're just calculating our results at the moment. Next round is all about training. What do you expect our participants to talk about?
I would like to see that the people who lead the business have a really comprehensive understanding about the training requirements that they need as leaders, the training requirements that their staff need, the way in which they can make sure that that training is customer focused, and also how that training is ongoing. So thinking about what training do they do within the business that they embed within the business, and then perhaps what specialist training would they get an external consultant in for if it was something that was needed. But ensuring that that learning culture becomes lifelong. So everybody within the business doesn't do training, it is part of their everyday job. All on the job, peer learning, sharing experience. Those are the kind of things I want to see where it's really embedded in part of their culture.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you, Helen. Mr. Enam Ali, now, you know, with the Curry Awards around the corner, on the 27th, by the way, a quick plug, with Curry Awards around the corner, you know, you come across lots of caterers, you come across lots of restaurants, training, and I know from previous Curry Awards and actually attending, you actually go to the restaurants and you judge on their work, on their food, on everything. When it comes to training, how do you take that into account?
I think trained brain is something very important for any restaurant, and the difficulty is how you can translate into the real environment, and that is real challenge.
How do you mean? What do you mean?
When you train your staff, brain means this is your brain concept of everybody has to learn. You can't teach them cooking.
No, absolutely.
So that's my language, is train the brain. So when you train brain with this environment, with certain front of house or back of house, you have objective to meet. And the difficulty is you train them with bringing the top man and give them his experience, that they learn something, and how they're going to translate into this environment. That is really difficult, very difficult, because restaurant is fine dine. Restaurant has different environment. It's created by its own environment because of the word actually on the night, who is coming, how they're behaving, how they're enjoying. So every night I look at as a fine. I'm talking about top end of the restaurant.
Yeah.
So that is really measurement of what we do. Is come up with on the night. You probably see this restaurant is really top chance to be the winner. But on the night, it's very difficult because of they lost their ground. They got, you know, the cooking facility what they have is not, you know, ready for 50 guests at a time.
Yeah.
The fine dining restaurant has to be, you know, certain element of people coming in, and then it has to be on that basis. But when you have a casual dining restaurant or, you know, another normal restaurant, then you can able to 100 people coming in, papadam is there, you just bang on. So these are the difficulties. I think to training is very important. But I personally recommend you have to find what actually you need to train.
Yeah.
You might training someone in my restaurant, but it's not complement to perhaps your restaurant.
Yes.
Because your total different requirement by your customer.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I believe the training has to be customized, and you come up with what actually you want to make. Whether you want to satisfy your mass people, you have a different training.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And if you want to be fine dine restaurant, you have another kind of training to do. So I think training is very important, but you have to do customized, I think, in a personalized training.
All about train the brain. It's called train brain.
Yeah.
Not train the brain. Train brain.
Train
I like
brain,
that. I shall remember that. And same for our participants today. Train brain. Make sure you have your best game on right now. All right. It is time for the results. Are we ready, judges?
Absolutely.
All right. So I shall go into my screen, and I'm super excited. We are saying goodbye to one person that will be eliminated, and the results are: in first place we have Mughal Knight and Red Indian with 100% of the votes. Congratulations.
Yes.
Riyadh's came in with 80% of the votes and Yuva came in with 75% of the votes. Unfortunately, we are having to say goodbye to Raj of India. Thank you so much to Dalba Hussain for joining us and for being a part of the catering circle, and congratulations for coming this far and actually coming onto the show. So well done on that. Now it's time for round two. All right, so are you guys ready? This is all about training, and this is where you guys have to really talk about how you train your staff, what you do, how you do it, and share all your success stories and your top tips with our panel judges and our special judges. So first up, we have Red Indian. Are you ready?
Yep, thank you.
All right, Aziz Mia, for this you have 60 seconds.
Okay.
All right, your time starts now.
Okay, so what we do at Red Indian, I've invested and I continue to invest time and money in colleagues and myself. Majority of the staff I say have been through the level 2 food safety training, and the council supported that. Our chef, I've got the level 3, and our chef is just going through his level 3, which is a longer course but a better understanding. The Safer Food Better Business booklet is used as a training guide, so we use that to support colleagues who are there, and they are kind of have understanding around it. It's just not something that we filled in and left it to a side. We have weekly meetings where the team get a better understanding around the food safety, and customer feedback as well makes a difference, and get them to share things that they've seen and things we could improve on. The catering guide is something that I use as I call it the Bible. It's a one-stop shop for documenting standards for compliance. And the best practice is fantastic. It's a tool that I've downloaded on the app, and we've got the digital version, and we're sharing that as well. And new colleagues have an induction day with me before they come in, and we go through a lot of things. And the uniform plays a key part as well around the image as well. So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Well done. Next up, we have Yuva MD Akbar Hussain. Are you ready?
1 minute.
1 minute? Okay. Yes. You have 1 minute to talk. All right. Your time starts now.
Okay. So if you do more training, so you good understanding with your stuff. So good understanding means you can good business in your life. So this is the main important things. So is employee needs it the level 2 food safety. But nowadays very true things. We got this a loss of in level 2 food safety, but they don't know how they use it, washing hand, or when the health officer came or asking them any question, they never give them any proper answer. So you have to do it level 2 food safety, do yourself in your future life. So is if you do any good business, if customer good, polite and training, so they recommend your customer more, they tell your friend and family members, customer come back to yourself, and try to any business and fresh cooking your business. So if you do good, your chef, and they train up and your customers and how they work exact the one. So I'll recommend to all of the business is business is not short time, because we have to is long time. So you have to do everyday basis training, weekly based training, monthly based training. It is necessary for any businesses. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Well done. Riyadh's Mr. Nasir Uddin. And the same thing for you. It's all about training and how you train your staff and your success stories around.
Thank you very
training.
much. Give me the opportunity
Excellent.
again.
Your time starts
Thanks again. Actually, I told you before this, the business is the restaurant is our bread and butter. All the time, the training is very important, because the chef, including the waiter, is myself. I did the training, which is the normally we do twice a year, which is the level 2, and especially in the restaurant A to Z, everything we have to follow up. And every night we are briefing with my staff, which is what's going on, any happening, any problem, anything we're facing. We solve straight away end of the night before 12 o'clock, because at the moment any customer, before they go to the dining or before you take the place an order, they will check up the online website. It's very important things. Example is my own one is all my customer. This is my own mobile, and then there's the website, and then again the end of the night every customer I'll take the feedback by phone. If not, is it possible next day morning I'll follow up with the customer, because at the moment every single customer is very careful, they love what about going to be food hygienic and everything. Obviously is that we have to follow A to Z about the training and compliance and everything. Thank you very much. Thanks
Excellent.
again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Uddin. You guys can say thank you nicely. I won't bite you, I promise. You do have time to say that. All right, last but not least, Mughal Knight, Zakaria Chowdhury.
Hello again. Thank you very much for having me here again. As an employer, it's our duty to make sure that all my staff are fully trained, and what the day-to-day operation, they focus on what they are doing. They make sure that all the hazardous things are up to date. You know, they are not risk for their customers, not for themselves as well. So what I do, I'm based on a two-step, for the newcomer who start with for the week before. We take normally staff on Monday, so we could go through with them for like a 2-hour sessions with the fully trained, and we got a different to the safer food business. We got our own paperwork for our customer for staff to maintain this, and they go through everything what they need to do. We do the fire risk assessment because my building is quite massive, and we go make sure the fire exits are clear. I let them know that I got underneath cellar, so when they go down there, they make sure they are safe and sound, and that's what we do pretty much the 2-hour session. And throughout the week, we just don't leave them alone on the field. So we just make sure he's been supervised on other stuff, make sure he's doing his best. And that's
I'm going to let you finish this off.
So thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, excellent. Thank you. Well done. That was our 4 participants done. So it's back to the judges now. This is where the judges have to start voting and come to a conclusion. But whilst you actually make your judgments, I'm going to speak to you, so I'm going to come to Ahmadou Samad Chowdhury first. How do you feel they did? Do you think they answered?
I think all of them are very competent.
Yeah.
Because if you compare about, say, the older generation, you'll notice that they were not so aware of the training and all sorts of compliances. Now, all the contestants here are very much alert, and I'm very impressed.
Absolutely. Helen, do you think they ticked all the boxes for you?
Some of them did, certainly. I really like the fact we heard mentions about peer-to-peer learning.
Brilliant.
I like the fact we heard mentioning about a bit of mentoring with more experienced staff and more junior staff. I liked hearing about inductions so that people get a really good overview. That was absolutely great. I like the fact that there's weekly and nightly team meetings so people can share issues. I was quite pleased with that. The idea about being online aware and contacting your customers back for feedback shows really good awareness, and also including digital skills as well. If you're looking at attracting lots of new people into the industry, a lot of the younger generation are very digitally aware. I think we heard Red Indian mention about using some digital app technology to help them with their training. Nice comprehensive ideas. I was quite happy listening to all of that. I feel quite reassured about the direction the industry can go in.
Well, they definitely took all the information that the judges had to say, and they've definitely tried to implement it in their answers. And Amali, for you, how were they?
I think they touch on quite a few things, which is really encouraging for their position they hold. One of the things I think Red Indian mentioned, which is induction, which is very, very important. And that induction has to be very, again, I highlight personalized, so that make sure you meet your criteria. And the other things of the, I think, my serious note, I will give you one for all of you here, all the viewer of Channel S. It's very important to finding the problem and just note and get them trained. That's the real solution for your business. That's all I can say. Because you can have all kind of different model of training. It might not useful to you at all.
No.
So waste your time. So I think it's important for you to make a note, what's the problem, and get the real solution, get them trained, run the business, make money, happy everyone.
Happy everyone. So
that's actually a good tip. I think that's definitely a good tip. I'm going to come to Jamal Ahmed. Now, you run a training centre, obviously, and we were just talking about having staff, making sure that the staff get the right training. How do managers actually, I mean, they spoke a lot about training their staff members, but how about self-development?
We had 2 of the 4 specifically mention management training as well, which was
Excellent.
Good to see.
Yeah.
How important is self-development as a manager?
As Anambai mentioned, I would say as well, get the training and get the skills. If you are skilled, and it is a guarantee, you will ensure your food is safer and you will have better business.
Yeah.
So it is really very important. And two of the candidates mentioned actually, if I say according to the Food Safety Act 1990, it is the responsibility of employer to organize food safety training, and it is also the responsibility of the staff member to follow the instruction.
Yeah.
So I would say in here, most of them, as Ahmed Samad Bhai mentioned, that our generation is they are well trained, and I would say Channel S has taken a great responsibility to turn these challenges into opportunities, and I would say this is also a part of the training that train our community, especially our catering industry. And I would say now, I also say...
Did they write that down for you to say? I'm joking.
No, that's fine. So now this is really very, very important. I also would like to mention then it is the responsibility for all caterers to ensure food is safe, free from contamination from farm to fork. Then we can ensure that our customers are eating contamination-free foods.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I'm going to go to Ian Dunn now and ask Ian Dunn, actually. Now, you also obviously do ID development and a part of Training Limited. Now, would you advise that restaurants actually develop their own training materials and then maybe go to a training centre and ask for some help? Do you think that's a possibility?
Yes, because the food, Safe Food Better Business is setting the benchmark. So really companies can either use that or improve upon that to suit their own, bespoke it to their own particular company.
Yeah. Which
would be very good. And it's interesting, but one of the candidates was trying to encourage them to perhaps use that hygiene skills within their own home as well. So it's constantly reinforcing it within the family.
Yeah.
So that's very good.
Very, very important. Helen, I'm going to ask you something when it comes to health and safety. Do you think they mentioned enough about training around health and safety?
I think everybody had more of a focus around staff training. So I'm kind of okay with that. We did hear about the induction that I think it was Murgle Knight said that they did, with around fire risk, which was the first time we heard that mentioned, and around things like building safety, including taking people to their cellars to ensure that that side of health and safety was covered. And so I think we did hear about it, but I think everybody's focus on this section was a little bit more on the staff training side.
Yeah.
It's such a broad topic though when you're talking about training. It's very hard in the 60 seconds to bring all the diverse elements in.
Now, you know what, actually, I'm going to ask Ahmed Chowdhury and Amali something. Now, you're both very well known in the curry sector. You've both made tremendous difference in the curry sector. Now, actually, tell me a tip that you guys would like to share with them when you developed yourself as a manager.
Well, tip is, singularly, is dedication. Okay? So if you are dedicated, then you can achieve your goal.
Yeah.
I think that's the number one topic.
So have something there and actually go for it and
determined
use that determination into education and educate yourself in that sector. Brilliant, thank you. That's very strong. I think it's quite similar to train brain, to be honest. Train yourself.
Yeah, and I think my tips would be you have to have a passion, and that's really drive you. Whatever you want to do, you can achieve.
Yeah.
So that is really my tips. You've got to have a passion for what you do, and you enjoy what you do.
And have that determination.
Yeah, determination.
Thank you very much. You know what? You guys are super lucky today because we do have the best of the best here on the last episode, and I'm pretty sure you can take something back with you. And of course, those of you watching at home, don't forget you can also be a part of it. All you've got to do is tweet us, follow us at The Catering Circle. Now we have Maria Ahmed here with us. Now, Maria, all right, let's make this a bit personal now. Just 2 seconds away from The Catering Circle. You speak great Bengali, Silati Bengali, should we say. And please, you know, there was a video that went viral, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to tell me how you think the participants have done in this round in Bangla.
আসলে আমি খুব ভালো পাইছি যে তারা ট্রেনিং দিলাই
আর ওটা আমি স্পেশালি আমার খুব ভালো লাগছে যে একদিন তারা বন্ধ করেন রেস্টুরেন্টও বন্ধ করেন বিকজ আসলে মানুষ কাম করাইতে এরান হয়ে যায় আর একদিন তারা নেম তারা ওটা চাকরিতনে অফ লইলে নিচে শান্তি হইব নাইলে এই কাস্টমার কিলা ডেডিকেশন দিলাই পাই এটা হও মানুষ তো তারা একলা ফ্যামিলি লইয়া কতটা লইয়া খরা লাগে নাই বাট আমি যে সময় আমি তো কাম করতাম তাইকুয়াই এলা আইন আছে না বুঝছেন এটা আমি 20 বছর আগে কথা কইলাম এটা এলা আইন আছে না যেটা কইব তুমি জানো নি আমার শেফ দোকান ও সামনে সামনে একজনও তারা আইব রেস্টুরেন্টে ও শেফ পালা আলি মুখ দিয়া তারা কইব ও মুখ পালা আছে তারা এটা কোয়ালিফিকেশন এটা খুনতা নাই আলি কথা আসল বাট এখন তারা এটা স্টাফ ট্রেনিং করেন তারা এটা হেলথ এন্ড সেফটি ওটা ফলো করেন এটা শো আইন ফলো করেন ওটা খুব আমার ভালো লাগছে যে ওটা বাঁকা আগুয়াইছে আগটাকি
Brilliant. Hey. I don't think I've even spoken that much Bangla in one go without a word. That is brilliant. Helen, I'm sure you understood that.
I think I've got a bit of a personal learning journey to go on and get myself quite up to
and
speed.
Ian, you totally understood that, right? Brilliant. That was brilliant, honestly. And talking about determination, I think that is determination. You know, if you want to learn something, you need to go for it. You just need to go get it. And thank you for sharing your journey of when you were a chef and how you went through it. And this was obviously 20 years ago and how things have changed. So thank you very much. And please take note of everything that Maria has said. And obviously, when you go on to round 3, keep that in mind, those that are successful. Arlene, I'm going to come to you, training consultant. Now, what is the hardest thing, you know, when you're in a business, what is the hardest thing that any manager has to face when it comes to training, and how do they overcome that?
I think one of the hardest thing is for people to actually implement the training that they've been given. And when I am a training consultant and I go into people's businesses to do the training, because I find it more relevant. If I sit in a classroom and tell them you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, then they have to use their imagination, and sometimes that's not very good. So I now have a niche sort of training where I actually go into the workplace. I go into the restaurant, I go into the kitchens, I look underneath the cupboard, so I'm on my knees on the floor. What's that doing there? You know, I see the chips are still there. It's been there for a long time.
I'm sure
I
that's
look at the fridges.
Rana's job, actually.
Well, I do that and I do that before I actually start the training.
Yeah.
And I have all the staff walking around with me, so no one can say it wasn't so. Because I saw it and they saw it as well. So when I'm about to start teaching and whilst I'm teaching, then I could refer to that, all the things that we saw and whether they were compliant or not.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And actually on that note, because I know that Rana Zaman, you actually do that. You're an environmental health officer and you've been doing this for nearly 15 years. So what is it that you look for when you actually go in, and how do you help? Actually, not what you look for. Let's say, how do you help the restaurants? What do you do?
I'll tell you what, today's been a good show, because you know, a lot of the people here have said we've asked for help.
Yeah.
I think when I started 15 odd years ago, people said, oh, health inspector, run for your life.
Yeah.
Whereas now things have changed. I think as the generations have changed, where we have new and younger people coming in, they are asking for help and willing to sit down with us. And I think as health inspectors, we love that. We love to sit down with you, go through the food policy, go through documentations, etc., so on. And, you know, our job isn't just to come and inspect the food business, isn't to find issues. It's to come in, help the businesses, and hopefully help them improve. Because it's easy for us to go somewhere, close them down, but we'd rather work with you and hopefully eventually get them up to a standard where we're happy, they're happy, and the customers are happy.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much, definitely. And I think that's something we definitely need to keep in mind, that we should all be working together and everyone's here to help each other. I do have the results right here with me. It's all being calculated and I have the answer right here. And I'm pretty sure everyone's just wondering who's made it through. to the last round? Well, let's take a look. In first place, we have Red Indian, again with 100% of the votes. Well done. Congratulations, Aziz Mia. Second place, we have Mughal Knight with 80% of the votes. Congratulations. Well done. And Riyadh with 70% of the votes. Well done. Congratulations. All three have made it through to the next round. Unfortunately, we are having to say goodbye to Yuva. We are having to say goodbye to Mr. MD Akbar Hussain. But thank you so much for coming this far. And you've done absolutely brilliant. Honestly, you were really, really good. Well done. And well done to the judges, because I know that's the hardest part. And just a quick reminder to everybody watching at home, our panel judges hold 60% of the voting, and our special judges hold 40% of the votings, which are 5% each. But well done. And I need a breather right now because the heat's definitely getting to me, and I'm pretty sure you all at home need a quick break, and we'll come back with the last round. Let's take a quick break. Welcome back to Season 2, The Catering Circle. Yes, we are on the last episode, believe it or not. It's been a crazy journey trying to find the best of the best in the catering industry. And actually, we have been, and now we're off. Well, we're actually waiting for the main day, for the big day next year, where we'll be finding our winner, the best of the best here from the Catering Circle at the Business Conference. I have with me now our 3 participants that have made it through to the last round. So let's get prepared for round 3. This is all about cost saving, this round right here, and you are going to love this round because it's all about cost saving and how they've done it through marketing, through branding, through staffing, through how they create their menus, etc. So if you're actually watching this at home, then you definitely want to take some notes down. So it's all about cost saving and revenue increase. So first up, I have Red Indian. So far, you've had 100% of the votes. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Last round. Are you ready?
Ready, yep.
Excellent. So for this, you have 60 seconds, and you have to talk about your cost savings and revenue increase. All right, take it away.
Thank you very much. For me, it's really important. I think from even the kind of safety management of food is like stock control. So I buy perishable goods regularly and often, and goods that have got longer use-by dates, buying bulk to reduce the cost. So perishable goods go off quickly, so we make sure that it's fresh and it's used on a regular basis, so saving around that. Also making sure that, the opening and closing checks we do, freezers and all that is checked, so our equipment is maintained, so goods and stuff doesn't go off, or your fridge and freezer are working properly. So that helps me kind of reduce the cost around goods that are going off. For me, I think that awaiting the hygiene rating, hopefully it's a 5-star, really will increase my revenue. I'm closed on Tuesdays. One, that helps me reduce the cost on staff. I got the chef, same chef, consistency around that. Training helps with the training as well. And recently I had a mystery shop by a local bid team, and they've given us highly commended around cleanliness, the food, and that's really been on the papers and really created a really massive increase in revenue recently. So that's the stuff we're doing.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Your timing's on point, Aziz. Well done. It really is well done. Next up from Riyadh, I have Mr. Nasir Uddin. And again, it's the same thing for you, sir. It's all about revenue increase and cost savings. Your time starts now.
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful question. Thank you very much. Which is my restaurant is actually is end of the day. We have all of the staff. We have the meeting, and they do how we will going to be improve our business. That's why we'll discuss and the special food, a special dinner with all my staff. That's why everybody is happy, and that do something different. The training with the like the training center, but we will do the own training with the boss, with the my manager and everyone, and we will do this because this is the business. For not only for me, which is our 12 staff, the 12 family. That's why everybody knows, everybody love me, everybody like the business, everybody like each other, and everybody love this industry. And this is our backbone, and this the Indian food is now the national curry in Britain. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Udin. Last but not least, from Mughal Knight, Zakaria Chowdhury. And your time starts now.
Hello again. I'm just going to start with a few points, bulletin points. We will say, okay, cost saving. I'll focus the wholesaler and the grocery we do every week, and then we got the staff cost. If I say wholesaler, I do sit down with my managers, and pretty much every week, 20 minutes, I sit down like what we got in stock and what we haven't got. So we don't get always run out anything. We always make sure we could top up with any other the materials we need. The cost, the shopping we do every week is I do personally called window shopping. I look around the website through there's a website called something I'm not going to tell now. You can check out on there what's the market rate, especially if I talk about the lamb. So I do there's the biggest seller, the wholesaler in East London. They do provide us, but I go to the different shops and I check out which is the cheap price on that they're doing. But I want to make sure the quality is high on the and when I say the staff cost savings, I just make sure there's during the weekday there's not much staff enough there. Yeah. Just weekends, and also when I say branding things, and
I'm going to let you finish this sentence. No, finish it.
When it's branding, I'll make sure I'll invite the local communities, and we do charity events, and then we recently raised £450 for one of the local charities for the Operation Smile lifting.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you to please stay there, and I'm going to ask the other two participants to come and join. Well done. Congratulations to all three for making it through to the last round. You've all been phenomenal, and you've definitely taken everything into account. You've listened to the judges, and you've tried your best to answer those questions. Now it's over to the judges, actually. The floor's open. You can ask questions to our participants right here, and I will give them 30 seconds to answer the question, so try and make it as fast as possible, as quick as possible. I have Dr. Mir that wanted to ask a question. Dr. Mir, what would you like to ask them?
Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful event. I would like to thank all the participants, and in my opinion, they have touches in all the aspect of the business. And I think they're trying very, hard, and that's what we need at the moment in this current climate. We're really struggling, So this is a very good, achievement so far, I think. I would like to make a question. Have you got this gentleman? Have you got any setup plan in your premises displayed? I know you are saying that, yes, you have touches everywhere, but have you got any setup plan, a business plan displayed in the premises?
Yes, when we took over the business, it's a leasehold properties and we got limited time. But my target is visionary in 10 years. I want a couple of branches. I know even though everyone's struggling with these things, but when we got before I do these things, coming to this industry, I've been working this last 10 years, and I make sure I've been training the chef and everything, and I just make sure that all the elements we need for the compliance for the business and other things, make sure everything is on a right track, and that's what we set up for business for the next future 10-15 years for the long run.
Thank you very much. Helen, I know you have a question. Thank you very much for that. Helen, what would you like to ask?
I passionately love eating out, and I eat out on a regular basis. But I don't eat meat, and I very, very rarely eat fish. And frequently, when I go out with friends, I'm the one that decides where we go. So, what are you doing to specifically attract people who've got dietary requirements? Vegans, gluten-free, people who are non-dairy. How are you trying to get that revenue in with special diets? Could you all just give me a couple of key points each on what you're doing to attract that kind of special interest menu?
We'll start with Aziz.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
for me, I've got a create an allergen menu. Yeah, I mean, so which has been a great success. So recently, a customer put it on the Facebook that if you go to Reading, then you'll get a menu if you have any dietary requirements. So includes vegans, diet, dairy, all the 14 allergens are there. So all my dishes have been, is tailor-made, so it tells you exactly what's in there, what ingredients, and you have to go. It took time. But it's one of the best things I did, and the revenue on the back of, so I get a lot of customers now coming saying, can I see allergen menu, can I see allergen menu, and it's really improved and really helped increase the revenue on people who are kind of not sure around going to a restaurant now.
That's really helped.
Thank you very much. It's a wonderful question. It is the 12 things they're allergic. We have my menu is the indicated the red mark, and all the customer, even before the normal menu, I'll ask them, which is my manager and my staff, ask them if it's any allergy problem, if you need any help, please ask any staff of the member. Then again is I do that all the time. It's like a fresh chicken, and then the fish I buy myself every day from the fish market, from the Burlingame market. That's why my customer they like is the fresh chicken, fresh fish. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zakaria Chowdhury.
When it comes to the diet food controls, and because it's 2017, people have got healthy lifestyles, and I got luckily in my town area, I got one dietitian. She didn't like my food before. She goes, "Oh, we got another Indian in here coming in." But when I tell her what I'm doing in the curries, we are fine dining, so I just give her the menu. So look at this. We're going to do diet one. I got the tandoori specialist, which is burn out. There's no fat, no ghee in there. You can with the salads. If you don't like curries, you can have a try these ones. Now she's rather than having to go anywhere else, she's coming to my place and having regular Indian meals. And that's why I always make sure the diet and the food controls for the diet people.
Thank you very much. I will come to everyone one by one. So I'm going to first go to Mr. Jamal.
Thank you, Nadia. Well done, everyone. Aziz, Zakaria, and Mr. Nasir. Can I quickly ask a question? Very nicely answered about allergen information. Of course, it has to be highlighted, and of course, you have to give clear information to the customers. My question to three of you, actually, what kind of control measures will you take to avoid cross-contamination?
Thank you. Zakaria Chowdhury.
The cross-contaminations when it's when the food has been cooked, and because in our restaurants they do daytime prep food and make sure when it's go to the chiller, I make sure personally when I'm hit on the duties, I go to downstairs and make sure the food, the raw food and cooked food, they put in different areas. There doesn't contamination, especially if people talk about the raw meat and chicken. There's also a salmonella, salads. If you cut the raw chicken or cooked chicken next to the salad, it may contain, and which is really hazard things.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you very much. Because contamination is very important question. Thank you very much. Especially is my fridge actually is on the cooking fridge, on the normal fridge, and the salad fridge, and is obviously is a cutting board. Everybody knows, and especially is check and look after myself every day and every time, because the cross contamination, if there's anything problem, is that because I can avoid this allergic. This is the main thing, and very wonderful question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, for me, my chef's full control. So as I said, he's going through his level 3 at the moment. He's done his level 2, and he controls that. And we recently had a visit from the council again regarding. So they kind of was spot checking what we're doing. So kind of gave us feedback around because one of the things is spoons in going in. One kind of way they put it together, but again that's allergen wise and everything is dangerous. So now the chef kind of understands that, so he's putting measures, making so the kitchen staff kind of understand that. Him doing that level 3 now will definitely make him understand even further. It made a big difference to me. So excellent. Yeah, that sort of controls in place.
Thank you very much. I know Ahmad Samad Chowdhury and Anamali have questions, so okay. I'll ask you.
Actually, the topic is revenue increase and cost saving, but I have not heard from any of you about technology, because I think technology is a factor whereby by using technology you save a lot of money. Yes, you have talked about buying food, good quality, cheaper food, everything else, but none of you have touched upon the technology. So please.
So we're talking
you know,
about marketing and branding and also
everything.
Okay.
Including,
Aziz,
in olden days, people used to handwrite their bill. So nobody talked about it, and this is a general question.
Yeah, no, so like I'll just mention, like we have our up-to-date EPOS system. Yeah, I mean, kind of that looks at stock, looks at the dishes that we're selling more of. So kind of you've got a better understanding around what you're selling more, what you're not selling. So that gives me understanding around it. Technology-wise, I think if you look at equipment-wise, I think I'm quite new into it, and I've kind of looked at things that we could save cost around that as well. So equipment indications, got rationale machines. How can we reduce the cost around that? But it's something I'm looking into. Being new into it, you're looking at increasing your revenue through marketing, branding, and I've done a lot of work on branding, and I've got a marketing guy employed who does all my digital stuff, so the Facebook, paid advertising, he does all that, but that's something that's new.
So when you take an order, do you handwrite and give it to the chef?
No, we've got iPads. We've got iPads in the restaurant, so that we.
So how do you transport it to the kitchen? It goes
straight there. Yeah, it goes
straight
so
there. That was my question because it is definitely revenue saving.
Definitely, it is. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. As again, a wonderful question, which is that.
So, you're just so prompt. You just want to answer.
Thank you very much, Nadia. Which is the example, I can tell you the name, if you don't mind, is the Papula. I made the first customer in the city of London because I saved the two stuff. And the two printer in my kitchen. And this which is the, there is the Papula. When this is the Papula. Which my front that saved the two customer. And the food and everything, like the chicken and these things and kitchen stuff, I'll buy myself, and I'll go to the marketing and I'll check and when the promotion things and fresh and nice things I'll buy myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chowdhury.
When it's coming to the digital marketing, I do every day after the customer have a mail, I do get their feedback form where they put their email address and the mobile number. So I kept it as a data protection, and I use them end of the month. I just give it to them like email voucher, monthly their birthday celebrations and things, and we remind them of what's special going on into our business. And when I come to the EPOS, the first time when we opened the restaurant, we introduced the two EPOS laptop and computers, and that's we take orders and press the button. It's going to the kitchen, and my chef he's been trained. He makes sure everything's the orders coming through is going serial by serials. So I use technology in my restaurants.
Thank you very much. And Amali, I know you had a question as well.
Thank you. A lot to say, really. Can I have a single question to you, all of you? What is the price of the chicken tikka masala in your restaurant? You?
£9.95.
Sorry?
£9.95.
You?
£11.95.
£7.95.
Okay, that's fine. What do you do for product journey between customer and farm and fork, right? That relationship between product journey to customer. How do you verify that product is journeying well to the customer, whether it's on the table or at their home? I'm sure you do all takeaway. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So how do you verify that my product somebody taking? So taking home, he may not find great food. You're not going to come back. How do you monitor this? That your chef is doing something correct and customer enjoying.
When we get the delivery every week, so the raw food coming into my place, and I make sure, so me or my partners, when we receive the chicken or lamb, everything, make sure the temperature is on the time and control. And when we cooked it, make sure its temperature is cooked nearly 80%. And then when we deliver to, we make checklist that all the takeaways going out is quality and quantity is good enough, and they have enjoyed their meal.
Thank you, Anna. My very private and personal question. I can tell you that my chef knows, there will be the very secret. In the busy time, I'll take the one order for myself. I'll take this home and I'll see this how it is and how is the quality and how is the everything. Is the like the Friday and Saturday one order, I'll take myself and I'll see eat even chicken tikka masala, chicken jalfrezi curry and these things. And this I can.
So you do like a mystery shop.
Like a mystery shop, and this busy time, I'll go the next door, quickly. I check the naan and these things, and dish like jalfrezi or curry, I'll take my home, and then I know how is it and how is the quality. These are my secret things.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Aziz.
Yeah, when I first opened, it was getting that feedback from customers. So I used to call customers when we were delivering just to find out how the food was. I think for me, the biggest kind of success, I would say, within 7 months, we're number 1 on TripAdvisor to the feedback we received from customers. Facebook has been outstanding. So my business have gone from the business I took over was struggling, and to going to where it is definitely we're doing something right. So that feedback is there. But again, the spot check at the beginning was a key success, and the chef has been outstanding. He's recently won one of the Curry Life Awards, and that's been a massive success. So yeah, them sort of feedbacks, I think TripAdvisor wouldn't lie to you. So, yes, yeah.
Thank you so much. Shahina, I know you have a question.
Yes, this is a general question for everyone. Firstly, well done for implementing all the other aspects about compliance. But my question is about compliance and the handbook that you have for staff for training. Obviously, you do the in-person training regularly for all your staff, but there are going to be changes every now and again, and they need to be implemented very quickly. So do you actually take on board anything like a private Facebook group for staff? And everyone's on Facebook these days, and obviously you can type in Bengali as well as in English. And do you also take on board anything like a notice board or even a blackboard or anything like that they can take notice of very quickly and take that on board and then go into the training in person, ready, prepared?
I could share the success. So, like, I do, you're right, notice board. I've got a notice board in the kitchen where they kind of updates on things that they should do. We get the staff come and go, so there's stuff that I mentioned. But what I mentioned was I've got a really close relationship with the environmental health team in Welling Gardasil. Any changes, they tell me or they write to me. I even brought them in a couple of times and they've come and spoke to the staff face to face as well. But the difference is when you've got new staff is what we do around that is that I play an important part in making sure they understand, and that induction I do with them and the regular training makes a difference. But yeah, notice board has all the...
I think it will save time and money for you as well to have something like that. Even a private Facebook group for the team.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
And do you also, sorry, just on that, I think you also mentioned that you also have a staff manual that goes around. So do you make sure that that's also updated on a regular basis?
I do a lot. Yeah, I do. It's something I took on. So I've got 2 staff manuals, one for alcohol licensing, which is really important, and the Safer Food Better Business booklet. I've made a manual myself. Took stuff from there to make it a little bit easier because people's kind of skill sets are different, so they kind of understand, and getting them to sign once they've gone through it, signing and making sure they understand what they've gone through, and visiting it regularly as well is really important. So something you do and take it away, bring it out again, and that's advice from the environment health really helped me kind of achieve those things.
Thank you. Has that answered your question?
Yes,
do you want
definitely
anyone else to answer that, or are you okay?
No, I think that's perfectly
excellent.
fine.
I know that Ranuz has a question as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
What's Mr. Uddin asking?
Is this all my local, because my business is the village area. All my neighborhood, I got a separate Facebook, which is everybody is the end of the night. They tell me your cook is like this. Is there any happen? I can straight away. I'll get the feedback and the reply I'll do myself, not even manager or anybody else. Another thing is all my customers is that I'll feel as my family member because this from my bread and butter, and anything I didn't compromise. Thank you very much.
Zakaria, I love the way you say, thank you very much, I'm done. That's it, don't ask me any more questions. And I absolutely love it, I love it. As long as you talk like that to your customers, we're all good. Mr. Chaudhry, I might as well give you the chance to also answer.
When we supposedly got the health inspector coming to our restaurants, he lives next to our village, and we didn't know until we found out he's having meal, and he's telling us everything. We got friendly with him, and he's now telling us all the updates coming up on a regular basis, and he's now like a team leader now, so he sent his all staff to coming in here, like not for visit us, and they just because my council is very close to us in Suffolk area, so they make sure we make sure up to date with the website through their websites. And one of the things that Suffolk County Council they started doing called Eat Out, and which is they're giving particularly which restaurant are using the ghee or the sugar pot on the table, so we're taking out all the sugar pots and everything. People, when the customer asks, we give it to them. We don't leave the one for the display to use it. So we make sure we're up to date through their website. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know, Ranuz, you have a question.
Guys, just a quick question. Might be a bit controversial, but I'm going to ask this question. This part's about saving money and increasing revenue. One thing are finding quite often now is food fraud, where people substitute a product for a cheaper product but charge more. So what's your views on that, and how do you guys prevent that from happening in your restaurant?
When we order something, we go to specifically selected wholesalers. We believe them, and the product we buy from them, and these are certified by the special authorities, and we check their things before we go join with them. So I'll believe on my suppliers, and also I make sure every 2-3 months I just make sure that the product coming into my place is all fully checked.
I think it's similar. Just using reputable suppliers. Feedback when I was going into business is finding the rest. So I said I used other restaurateurs to support me. They helped me, kind of saying, look, they're great, and that really helped me. And your regular contact with your suppliers, and you'll know, like, I've sent stuff back that I felt wasn't right, or they came too defrosted. You send it back. Having that relationship with them, but you do your own checks and make sure that it's all up to date. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Upton.
Again, excellent question. It's that the things, lots of the wholesaler, they take this 99 things is the good price, one thing they take the double price. That's why I'll buy cash every time, and I'll go different places. Who is may respect me, who is love me, and who is the good thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I know we've not touched much on insurance and compliance, but Anamali has a
my
question.
final question is to you all, final judgment. You have to give me one word just to tell me what is your USP in your restaurant. One word, not two.
Unique product.
Unique selling point. One word. Unique selling point. Only one word.
Just best in the best product-wise. Yes.
The whole thing. It's a concept you're selling.
Yeah.
It's a concept the restaurant selling.
Yeah.
So one word. What is your USP?
We do fresh things and great service.
So you're fresh is the word.
Freshness.
Okay.
One word I would use is food. Great food we do.
You do food, but there's nothing. What is a good food?
Yeah, well, great. It's the feedback from us. So what customers saying.
So your word is good food.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Guaranteed good food and good service.
Excellent. Thank you very
Our
much.
words are expanding, aren't they? We're getting into sentences shortly.
No one mentioned about service though.
Without service, you can customer can make next day and next week.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mir, you have a question?
Thank you. I would like to question three of you. So we want to answer from you that to set up any kind of business, you need three kind of resources. Number one is the financial resource, number two human resource, and number three is the physical resource. So in every sector in the business, you have to follow this basic guideline to develop a business. So I just want to ask you a very simple question. What would be the first initiative when you see the customer is coming to your doorstep?
Thank you. Can I just ask one person to answer this, because we are actually running out of time?
If I contact with my customer, I'll go in the door and open the door, and I'll give the welcome. That's it. This is my main mission and vision is the happy my customer, and end of the night I'll be happy.
Excellent. Thank you. I know
The
Helen
next
has
one.
a question.
I have one quick question to all of you. I love social media.
I'm going to ask you to try and give it to one person, because I know we're running out of time slightly, and I know Fahmina has a question
Well,
as well.
I'm going to do one word answer from each of you.
Okay,
What's
fine.
your Twitter handle?
Perfect.
At the moment, we're working on the Twitters.
Okay. What's your Twitter handle? Are you on Twitter?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your? If I want to find you on Twitter, how am I going to find you?
Red WGC.
Red WGC, Welling Garden City.
Closer.
Hashtag.
And Nasiruddin?
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Helen. That was very quick and easy. Fahmina, last question, because the votes are here nearly.
So, in a business, staff play a very important part in the business, and especially in this industry where there's much demand but short supply. What are you implementing to retain your staff?
Right, good.
Nice question.
Brilliant.
Yeah, nice question.
When we took over the business, we started
Really
with
quick,
the
I'm so sorry.
family business wise, and basically what we do, we recruiting local staff and the different cultures, but they come into us and they're working with us and they get trained. Even I got one in second chef. He's from Romania. He's working really hard, and that's we integrate. It's not obviously a hard job. So,
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Really quick, because I only let her ask one line.
For me, it's incentivizing your staff. When we talk about tips, when we talk about, I have kind of focus days when I've got special dishes they sell. They get a bit of the income from that dish. So a lot of staff morale is high, and I've got a lot of local staff. So retaining those staff has been very good so far.
Thank you.
Especially at the moment, we are sorted the 20,000 staff. That's why at the moment wages and staff for them, tips for them, and then again end of the night I'll eat together, dinner together, and at the end of the week I'll go to the football or badminton or anything with the staff. I will make it happy there with them, and because of that I will facing the problem at the moment, and everybody knows. And now at the 8 restaurant at the month closing. That's why we have to survive ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I know Arlene had a comment, so I'll let you make the comment. Famina, if you could pass the mic on, thanks.
I just wanted to say that throughout, I'm really impressed with all the restaurants, that they are in constant communication with the staff. Constant meetings, getting the staff's ideas and so on. And as they're the ones that are actually doing the work and facing the customers and so on, I think it is very important. And it's not done often enough. Go on consulting, and please have good teamwork as you have shown us tonight.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I won't actually take any more questions because the votings are now closed, so we are actually gathering the results, but I will take comments. So if there's anything you would like to share and say to the participants today, you're welcome to. I'm going to ask Maria to say something actually. Being in the industry yourself, you know, what would you like to say to them?
فویلا می شباش خویتم افن گسه کتالگی افن زه خوشت خورای افن اوت خستم کوشی خورای تا استاف زه افن به خورای بالا تا کوشی خورای تا اوت اشل منجنش اقسم منوش زدین افن جگت خام خوره کوشی نایله تو ات دویدین تخنه نوع منوشانله ارو بزال ترى يكاني لاجي ديوخرا لاجي أمي أما نسي خامو جاكا تامي شطرو بسودري خام خوريا أمي كوشي أسي لاجي أمي أسي أنو but شاباش أفنى أوفرزة كتوتا خورين خاصة لاجي أفنى ستافو لاجي يتامي كوب كوشي نعم.
Excellent, thank you so much. Thank you, well done. I'm so proud of your Bangla, honestly, it's brilliant. You know what, I think we're going to have some one-to-ones. My mother-in-law would be so happy if I could go home and speak to her like that. So you're going to have to teach me some. Helen, how has it been for you, this journey?
I found it really interesting listening to everybody. I'm a bit of a social media junkie, so I'm quite looking forward to hearing about...
So how do we follow you?
My business is at Recycle Scooters, or follow up at FSB Women. But it's interesting to hear about the fact you're using technology in your businesses. It's interesting to hear about how you're focusing on the customer experience, how you're trying to ensure that you've got really fresh quality food, and also how you're trying to ensure that you're catering for a really wide variety of diets, so you can encourage as many people as possible into your restaurant, in whatever groups they are, to come and share your food. And I'm feeling very positive after listening to these 3 good stories tonight, so it's been excellent.
Thank you so much. Anamali, I'd like to ask you, how have these participants been?
I think it's excellent. I think what they have performed in a shorter time is just such a short time for giving them insight. It's difficult for us to make a judgment. Perhaps what in the surface, what I see they have done fantastically well. And whoever go through, I don't think you shouldn't disappoint you. You have learned something, and if you carry on and creating a brand in the local community, I think you'll do well. So congratulations to you, and the person who not getting through, also congratulations to you. Well done, thank you.
Excellent, thank you so much. I'd like to now ask Famina, how has it been for you, you know, being here? And actually Ian Dunn, you haven't spoken much. I'll ask Ian Dunn first actually. How have they done for you? Do you think they've done quite well? Was there things missing? What can they develop on from the answers that you got tonight?
Well, it's been very inspirational, particularly the time restraints you've had to your presentations. That was really good, guys. And it is nervous to stand up there and talk. I think really all the people on the panel have asked all the questions that I would have asked. It's just that you're coming through very honest, very truthful, very genuine, and that comes through in your presentation. So well done, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I actually have the results right here with me. I know we don't have much time, so I'm going to go straight to the results. And before I reveal the results, congratulations to everyone and well done for coming this far. And the winner, the two that are going through to the business conference next year are first Red Indian with 100% of the votes. Congratulations. And in second place we have Mughal Knight with 85% of the votes. Congratulations, well done. You have both made it through to the business conference next year. Unfortunately, we are having to say goodbye to Riyadh. Thank you so much, Mr. Nasiruddin. You've been a great sport. Your answers have been great. Thank you very much. Thank you. You've been absolutely brilliant. I'd like to ask Aziz to say a few words first, and then I'll go on to Zakaria Chowdhury.
Personally, I think thanks for the invite. I think this is a great, the Catering Circle, I think it's a great thing for us to kind of share ideas and kind of listening to some of the expert panels as well. It's important that we learn. I'm new into it, and this sort of shows kind of really kind of it's inspiration for ourselves. I mean, we want to move forward, do more, and support the industry and that sort of show. So thank you very much, and thanks for voting for me and getting me through. So we'll see you at the business conference.
Thank you very much. And Zakaria Chowdhury.
I'll first tell thank you to the Channel S and the Catering Circle to giving us this platform to raise our voice and letting us, our colleagues, everyone, about this industry. And this industry is suffering for a long time, but we are the new generation. First of all, as my startup said, this is I'm just coming to here learning and sharing my little experience with others. And I'm looking forward to save our industries in the near future. And it's not going to be, it's going to stick with us. Don't worry about this, and we will keep it. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And honestly, congratulations once again. And thank you to all our panel judges and our special judges. But before we go, I'd like to just have a closing statement from the Chief Advisor of the Catering Circle. Last show.
I just want to thank the whole of the catering industry and the community. We've been round the nation, from Wales to Newcastle to Scotland to Southend, everywhere.
Yeah.
And we got tremendous support, and the feedback we are getting now that those people who have been practicing the problematic areas are getting good results.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. On that note, it's been a great pleasure being your host for the Catering Circle Season 2. I've had so much fun and honestly super proud of the achievements within the catering industry. So keep doing what you do, have that determination and passion, and I will definitely see you at the business conference next year. But for now, it is time for me to sign out, and don't forget you can catch up on all the episodes on YouTube at Catering Circle and through Channel S television. Thank you so much for being with us. Take care.